Don't confuse the Dutch-style windmill and the tulip beds with a garden in the Netherlands. This picturesque park is in the heart of the Bay Area.
Well, it's a burst of color in the city. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at the Queen Wilhelmina Garden in San Francisco.
It's debatable, but springtime in the Bay may be the best time to take a picture, especially at the western edge of Golden Gate Park, when the flowers are in bloom and the sun hits the Dutch windmill just right.
The other day, my daughter said, "Hey, you know your garden's blowing up on Instagram."
You can thank head gardener Pat Quinn and his team for the beautiful backdrop at Queen Wilhelmina Garden, but if you tried to take the same picture here in early 1900s, it would look very different.
So this would have been just a bunch of sand dunes around here?
Yeah, and I don't think up until 1962 this was even developed with grass.
Historian Christopher Pollock says city leaders in the 1880s had big dreams for San Francisco, one being a giant park that would rival New York's Central Park, but the only place big enough to build it was on the sand dunes.
You might wonder, how do you get trees and plants and grass and all that to grow on sand?
Christopher says the answer to that question is to haul loads of horse manure onto the sand and then pump fresh water from the city onto the plants. It worked. The horse manure was free, but the city leaders found that pumping water was costly. This is where the Dutch windmill comes in.
Because it was found that in parts of the park, including out near the salty Pacific Ocean, there's in fact fresh water that is underneath in something called the West Side Basin.
In 1902, Park Superintendent John McLaren talked city leaders into building the Dutch windmill to extract that fresh water from below the sand dunes.
To my knowledge, there were no Dutch people involved in this.
The 102-foot-long spars of the Dutch-inspired windmill turned gears that pumped out 20,000 gallons of water an hour to thirsty plants, but it only did it when the wind blew. Soon, electric pumps took over and the windmill fell into disarray.
Although it could be functional, it doesn't have all the mechanisms inside today.
Kind of a decorative piece.
In 1961, the windmill got a facelift thanks to donations from grassroots efforts. Then in 1962, a memorial garden was planted in the honor of the death of Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands.
Because of her long reign, had an incredible amount of popularity.
Standing for over 120 years, the Dutch windmill is a symbol of Golden Gate Park's ingenuity and resilience, but it is showing its age.
Yes, it could use some work.
Do we know if there's anything in the budget to maybe do some updates? Is there going to be an update?
There isn't at this time.
For now, the Dutch windmill remains a motionless backdrop, only to be admired from the gardens that bloom every year below it, thanks to the water it once pumped.
Oh yeah, everybody's here all the time. People from all over the world love it. There's something about a flower. It's like an international language, right? Spring, flowers, they love it. People come from all over.
From Queen Wilhelmina Garden in San Francisco, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.